The only time management technique that you would ever need is don't waste time. And I'll say this because you would come across different variations of techniques and tips and advices, some life examples or applications or, 3 day or 21-day transformation guide or some sort of stuff. But I can guarantee you that time management is always about two things. Number one, don't waste time. And number two, the time that you saved, it should be applied to some productive work of life. So I'll give you an example again of my life. When I was 18 years old, I thought that I should make some money and I should gain some real world experience by working anywhere that I could do. So surprisingly, I lived in an area which was like highly commercialized, and there were lots of restaurants, and people order takeouts, and they also had some dine-ins. So I went to KFC and I said that to the general manager, of course, of the branch manager, that I want to be, a kind of a waiter, that you would say. So he surprisingly looked at me and said that you seem overqualified for being a waiter because I've already passed my 12th, and I was already applying to go for some uni or college. But he said that, are you really asking that, or is it just like curiosity? And I approved that it's not curiosity. I really need some of money, and I'm not ashamed to do some sort of odd jobs or some low level jobs, because I've never been bad at embarrassing myself. I was always good at embarrassing myself, and I would say that because, like I said in my previous video, that if you're not good at embarrassing yourself, you would have much more constraints and problem in succeeding in life, because you think that people judge you, but nobody actually judges you because they do not care, they do not have time, they would forget it in minutes and stuff. You already know that. So anyways, I was just curious that if I had that money, I could put it into use. Like, I would buy myself good food, and by good food, I mean junk food because I was a kid, and all of that, uh, childhood fetish that you would get a bunch of junk food, a bunch of chocolate and chips, and that you would enjoy a good movie or a night with a friend. Anyhow, one of my relative came to my house surprisingly that night, that same night, and we were discussing that what should I do, in my free time, because that was summers when I was applying to university. And one of my relative referred me to a call center, and I worked odd times, like it was 9 hours evening shift. It was basically 9 p.m. to 6 a.m. And I was really surprised of how much potential I had as a teenager, because I thought I couldn't work it out, but surprisingly I did. And it was like for, I guess, 16 months. Yeah, it was 16 months. I thought it was 18, but it's actually 16. And I learned a lot about softwares, about dealing with people, about being confident in life. And then I thought, why not be confident on camera? So if you are watching this video, you might realize that being confident in person and being confident on camera are two different things. Because if you think that people are watching you and anybody could watch you, that's some sort of anxiety knocked into your head. Anyways, the thing that I want to tell you by sharing this story is I managed that 16 months of tenure by effectively managing my time and not wasting it, because whenever I got off from the job, I went to the university for like with 20 or 30 minutes sleep, or like a power nap. That's what you would call it. And then I would come back, and then I would sleep like 3 to 4 hours because I was really tired. And then I would go to the job and just chit chat, have fun, have food, and then just earn money. And whenever I got or felt that feeling that I was really burning myself out, I thought of quitting, but I never quit. But since my grades went in a sharp downtrend, I thought that I should quit it for now and focus on my studies. And when I'm back to normal, like I got my degree, I would think of getting back if I had no other, like, field related alternatives. Anyhow, the point of sharing this story was that you do not want to waste time as a teenager, because if you're busy, wasting your resources, and the biggest resource is time. Like, I thought that was a cliche, but honest to God, that is the truth. If you're wasting your time impressing your friends, impressing your crush, or impressing other people that do not matter in your life, you would regret very much on how productive you could be, using that time, utilizing that time to something to increase your value, to learn a new skill, or to try something different and fail at it massively so that you could start again and remodel it and be successful eventually. But we do not do that. That is some sort of, unfortunately, that's our conventional behavior, but we really need to change that. So if you need to take any, takeaway from this story of mine, that would be the biggest time management technique, I would say again, is to not waste time.